let's kick it off with some particles. So a couple of you said you've been learning for like a year, 2 years, so you may have heard about the particles yet, or at least seen them somewhere. So today we're learning about one of the most common particles. I would call it a foundational particle because it's that important. So this basically all particles in Korean, there's lots of them. What they do is tell us how a word functions in that sentence. Today we're looking at a subject particle. So these are going to mark the subject of the sentence. And particles are only going to get attached to nouns. So person, place, or thing. And then here we have certain rule like when do you use un, when do you use nin. So if the noun ends with a vowel, we'll attach nin to it. And if the vowel ends with a consonant, or if the noun ends with a consonant, we'll attach un to the noun. And then I have a few examples here. Milk, uyu. Uyu ends with u, a vowel, so we attach nin. Uyu nin. Mul, that's water. 물은, because it ends with the consonant. 의사 means doctor, ends with the vowel, so it becomes 의사는. 선생님 becomes 선생님은. 학교 becomes 학교는. And then 집, we're going to use these words quite a lot. You don't have to worry if you don't know these words yet. You definitely will. 집 becomes 집은. These particles don't have any translation themselves. They don't add any thing to the translation, but they give us that feeling because it's telling us the role that it's playing. It's telling us who or what is the subject in this sentence. So the who in the sentence is usually what the un particle gets attached to. By who, I mean, if you remember the first lesson, we had the sentence structure: who, when, where, what, how, verb. So for a lot of those things, we're going to learn particles that attach to them. So today, we're getting un out of the way. And if you know about e and ga, this lesson will briefly talk about that too. So some examples. 학생은 한국어 배워요. 학생은 한국어 배워요. 학생 is our student. Who learns Korean? The student does. So we put in. The teacher teaches Korean. Could also be the teacher is teaching Korean. 선생님은 한국어 가르쳐요. 선생님 is our who in that sense. Who teaches Korean? The teacher does. And this time, instead of a who, we have more of a what. Korea is pretty. 한국은 예뻐요. 한국은 예뻐요. Coffee is delicious. 커피는 맛있어요. 커피는 맛있어요. And another who, Lila or Lila, is watching TV. 리라는 TV 봐요. 리라는 TV 봐요. So it's simple because we were making, or at least you could have been making sentences before you've learned about un and nin. And before, you just would leave it blank, right? It's very simple. So now, before we practice this concept, we'll talk a little bit about e and ga. This is called a topic marker. Actually, sometimes I get the mixed up, the name, subject, and topic marker. So to me, it's like the same thing, but these particles, they often get confused with un and nin because they also mark a topic of the sentence. And to me, a subject and a topic are basically the same thing, kind of. So that's why, kind of confuses me, just the words subject and topic. They basically have the same function though. They tell us what the topic is or what or who the subject is. Okay, we'll get back to that later on in the course because we're going to see a lot of different sentences and we'll start using e and ga eventually. Now we're going to practice. I don't think this concept is too difficult. First, we're just going to do some fill in the blank things. So 1, we are watching a Korean drama. We Korean drama are watching. So can anyone tell me which one should I put here?
우리는.
Yes, 우리는, because it ends with the vowel. Next one, we are watching a Korean drama at home tonight. So this is the same thing, but I wanted to make the sentence a little bit longer. So which particle do we do? 는, once again. 우리는. And so we have we, tonight, home, Korean drama, watch. 우리는 오늘 밤 집 한국 드라마 봐요. Number 3, they drink coffee at the cafe on Saturday. So they, Saturday, cafe, coffee, drink. Which particle?
그들은.
Good. 그들은 토요일 카페 커피 마셔요. Number 4, the cat is really small. Cat, really small. This one's very similar to the English sentence structure. Which one do we do?
Oops. 고양이는
Perfect. 고양이는 진짜 작아요 because it ends with a vowel. And number 5, the teacher is reading a book in the library quietly this morning. Teacher, this morning, library, book, quietly, read. Which one do we do?
선생님은
Yes. And then this part right here, this morning is the word today, 오늘 plus morning, 아침. But together, it means this morning. And number 6, 우유 너무 맛 없어요. Which one do we do?
우유는
Perfect. All right, now we'll do writing exercise. All right, I think I'm going to start going through them together. So first one, we have the cat likes milk. And I tried to write all the words out of order so I don't give it away too much. But so 고양이, 우유, 좋아하다. And then 고양이 ends with a vowel, so we need 는 to mark our subject. Then we have to conjugate 좋아하다. You know, if you're doing casual, 하다 has a special form, so it becomes 해요, 좋아해요. Or I'll also write it formally, 좋아합니다. Number 2, the teacher is walking to the classroom. 선생님 교실. I'm just going to do this formal. 걷습니다. 선생님 is our subject. 선생님은 교실 걷습니다. Number 3, we are watching a movie at home today. So our order, we is going to go first, then when, today, where, at home, how are we watching this movie? We don't specify, so we can skip that part. And then our verb at the end, to watch. So 우리, and we know that is our subject. We are the subject. When, 오늘, where, 집, what, we're watching a movie. 영화, how, skip, and then we have 오다 at the end. This one can be kind of tricky, so I'll conjugate it in both formalities. So for formal, we just take off the da. The last letter is a vowel, so we need this ending. 봅니다, 봅니다. Or if we're doing casual, we take off the da. The last letter is o, so we need the 아요 ending. And then it gets contracted even further to 봐요. That's because a lot of the times we can't have two vowels right next to each other. So the o and the a, we can't have that right next to each other. So usually in that case, we condense it down. So 봐요. 우리는 오늘 집 영화 봅니다. 봐요. My friends eat Korean food every day. So who eats Korean food every day? My friends do. They are our who, our subject. And what do they eat every day? They eat Korean food. 한국 음식. And then, oh, I forgot the time. When do they eat Korean food? They do it every day. 매일. And then eat. Should go at the end. 제 친구는 매일 한국 음식 먹다. Then from here, if we're doing the formal ending, it ends with a consonant this time. So we need the other ending. 먹습니다. Or if we're doing casual, our last vowel, at least, is 어. Not the 어 that's on the ground, but the standing one. So this time we need the 어요 ending instead of 아요. 먹어요. 제 친구는 매일 한국 음식 먹습니다. 먹어요. And lastly, they study Korean at school every day. Who studies Korean at school every day? Who is 그들? 그들은. This ends with a L consonant, so we add the N. And then when are they doing this? They're doing this every day. Where? They're doing it at school. How? Or I guess what are they doing at school every day? 한국어. Or what are they studying? 한국어. And then know how, don't specify. Study with the end. So 그들은 매일 학교 한국어 공부하다. And then from here we take off the da for the formal ending. If it ends with a vowel, we need 공부합니다. And then it has a special ending for casual, so it just becomes 해요. 그들은 매일 학교 한국어 공부합니다. 공부해요. Okay, any questions? Did that feel hard?
Also, could you say which one was the informal again?
The informal?
Yeah.
The informal, you just take the yo off from the casual.
Oh, okay.
So 공부해요, 공부해, that type of thing.
Exercise we've just done on number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Two. Sorry, no, it's the one with the walking verb.
Yeah.
How do you conjugate that verb for the polite and the formal?
So
Or
the
casual?
reason I left it off of here is actually because this verb is irregular.
I thought so, yeah.
So if I wrote it how it's supposed to be, I feel like everyone would be like, whoa, where did that come from? But I will put it out here.
Yes, one of the weird ones. I can't never remember those irregulars. I think you just have to memorize them, don't you?
Yeah, you just have to memorize the rules for them. Usually we just take off the da, and you would think it becomes kodoyo, right? But Actually, we have to change that D at the bottom to an L and then conjugate as normal. Why? I don't know. It's irregular. So it has a different conjugation. So it becomes 걸어요 or 걸어. Actually, I can actually put the informal conjugation on each one also. 봐요, 봐, 먹어요, 먹어, 공부해요, 공부